Hi, I'm Toby, I'm Bishop of Bradford, and I'm speaking to you with the responsibility of the Bishop of Leeds as Bishop Nick prepares for retirement and as we wait for a new bishop to come in. And I'm speaking to you about share. It's really clear from the early church that churches and Christians looking after other churches and Christians was central to how they understood what it meant to be Christians and living out the gospel. And it was also central to how the church grew in the early church in that time. If you read the Apostle Paul or the Acts of the Apostles or those writings in the New Testament. And it's really interesting to me that when I talk to friends and colleagues, for example, at the City Council, about how we fund our churches, and I tell them that our churches look after one another financially, carry one another financially, and that every church gives, every church receives, they're quite impressed. They don't necessarily know that, and when they hear that, they're really impressed at how we do things. Now, we've got a challenge. I was in a meeting of the Diocesan Board of Finance, and I learned something which I didn't know before. We were talking about costs of ministry. Costs of ministry, basically, we're talking about the costs of clergy stipends, their pensions and their housing. Now, 7 years ago, 96% of the costs of ministry across our diocese was covered by share. 96%. Now, it's 73%. So I was quite struck by that. And I was struck by it from my position here in thinking, this isn't something we can wait for a new bishop to come and help us sort out. Actually, wouldn't it be nice if we were to give our new bishop, whenever she or he comes in, that gift of actually having really addressed this in this time of vacancy? So I'm asking you to do very simply two things. The first is, will you commit to pray with me about share? To pray intentionally, regularly, privately, with friends, in PCCs, in church, about share. Confident and joyful and expectant that our rich God will turn this situation around. I mean, maybe I'm naive. I don't think so. Let's try really intentionally praying about this for the next year or so, yeah? Secondly, will you talk more about it? I'm English, I'm softy southerner English. I don't like talking about money, but I'm trying to learn to be more like Jesus, who was very comfortable in talking about money. And again, he talked about money joyfully, confidently, knowing that his Heavenly Father provided, and he didn't need to be worried, and we don't need to be worried. But let's talk about it. Let's not kind of have this as a hidden issue, because I think if we talk about it, new ideas and new thinking will emerge. And I'm really looking forward to God answering our prayer and God bringing to light things in our conversations. And I just want to finish by just saying how grateful I am to everyone who gives. All your church. I know it's costly. I know it's hard. I know it's increasingly tough. You know, when you have your roof's leaking or the energy bill, you know, all this stuff I'm aware of. But I'm just so grateful for your generosity, for our generosity, both in terms of what it offers for ministry, but also actually what it offers as a sign of God's kingdom.